It's crazy what this company, what Elon and stuff is doing. I mean, this just makes it all real. I mean, you can see. All right, so this is John from Tesla Owners of Silicon Valley, and we are on a very special trip today. We have our head of business development, Stephen Pilata. So yeah, we are the skinny is that we're going to the launch of the Kimbal Musk the Kitchen restaurant launch party tonight. So we're super excited. This is something that's been in the works for months. We had heard about this back when we had talked with Kimbal back in March of 2024. So it's October, or actually it's November now. But yeah, so we're out here in Austin. We're going to see, we just stopped by the factory. So we got some cool footage there. And now we're actually gonna meet up with our good buddy, Josh West 24. Yeah, we're gonna meet up with him real quick and just talk, and then we're gonna go check out potentially some of Elon's other companies, like the Boring Company. I guess they have a really cool plaza there, along with the Starlink factory, and then potentially the headquarters of where X is gonna be. Again, all of this is in Bastrop, Texas. So super looking forward to this. What are you looking forward to, Steven?
Some good food tonight at the kitchen. Checking out what they have on the menu. Seeing the other parts of Austin. It's gonna be a fun time.
Yeah, and the other thing that's huge, right? Like, we literally drove into the Gigafactory Texas lot, and every part of the whole Gigafactory is literally blocked off because so much construction is happening. Obviously, we know that they're putting the huge supercomputer for Dojo, but this place is just growing on an insane clip. I think they're even collaborating a little bit with the Boring Company and building a tunnel. So there's just a lot happening, and just super excited to see the impact that Elon is having on Texas, and more importantly, now with the acceleration of this election, I believe Elon's companies are literally going, like, his vision, his plan is going to be completely accelerated, and they're going to get a lot done. And the whole vision is builders are going to build, innovation and technology is going to advance forward versus this over-regulation. So looking forward to it. Hopefully you enjoy the journey. We're going to give you clips throughout this whole thing and do some check-ins. So hopefully you enjoy it. Let us know in the comments what you think of this trip. All right, so we are in Austin, and look at who we ran into. So this is a good friend, Josh West 24/7. He's got an amazing YouTube channel about all things EV, and really just showcasing his knowledge from the legacy auto industry of I think a couple of decades.
Yeah, almost 20 years.
Almost 20 years working there. But he also just recently moved.
But I started there when I was 7. No.
Gee, so that's more than a couple decades. But either way, so Josh just recently relocated to Austin. But hey, man, Josh, just tell me a little bit about, how is the Austin area changing? I mean, I came here months back in June, and it's crazy how much even the Gigafactory is just changing so much.
Oh yeah, the expansion on all things Musk Industries is just nuts. I mean, we're planning on heading down to Bastrop, where the Starlink factory is located. Huge expansion. I guess it's doubling in size. They're building all kinds of buildings there, and of course, Giga is just exploding. They have so much land here, right? So they've got tons of room to spread out. But the vibe, especially since the election, I've noticed has been just so overwhelmingly positive with everybody here in Austin. A bunch of our mutual friends like Matt Holm, Anwar Beck, I mean, they're in the real estate industry, and they know that it is just poised to just go to the moon in the next couple of years. It's pretty exciting.
What do you think the role of the results of this election specifically? Is there any company of Musk's that is going to do even better, or you think all of it, or what is your prediction on the next 4 years with the recent election results?
Well, I think the one company, if I had to pick one that's going to benefit the most, is going to be SpaceX. I think that they have been really tied down with the lawfare, with the kind of way too much red tape, regulation, all kinds of nonsense with hampering with launches and development and that sort of thing. I was down at the last launch where everybody's been talking about the Mechazilla catch. I mean, just absolutely spectacular. The world is still humming about it. And then we've got the next launch, Starship 6 is going to launch on, I think it's it's the 14th?
18th.
18th. That, I get the numbers mixed up. 4 p.m. They've got a half an hour launch window. I think they'll do it. I'll be down there for that. But you know, Elon wants to get to a point where they're just launch after launch after launch after launch, but you can't do that when you're just tied down with all kinds of nonsense, like doing research on like if a piece of shrapnel is going to hit a shark in the middle of the ocean. Like, it's just like comical at this point. Yeah. And you know, to know that is cleared away for him is not only going to help SpaceX really, but it's going to free up so much of Elon's valuable time. And you and I both know that Elon votes with his time. He goes all in on everything that he gets into, and I think, you know, he's just thrown off a whole bunch of weight that's been slowing him down.
You know, I think the famous quote that I've been seeing a lot on X is, he plays to win. And I would 100% agree with you that SpaceX, and really, you know, SpaceX is really primed to win big. Yeah. I think that they're going to accelerate to getting to Mars, to getting more launches happening more frequently. And, you know, the one thing I want to say, what's crazy about Starship, because I've been to 3 of the 5 launches. I missed the last one. I'll actually be at the next one too. Awesome. But, you know, is how they've been able to pretty much accomplish what they have without any major issues, other than maybe the first one where it blew up. But the big thing is that, you know, but it even got into the air. All I'm trying to say is like, with the amount of regulation that they have already faced, yeah, the fact that even Mechazilla happened in the first try, imagine if that had blown up. And again, imagine if the results were different with this election. You know, it would just be completely different. The one other thing when we were on the spaces last night, that the X spaces that we had, was also to potentially the nationalization of FSD, and being able to find a tactical way to go about it from a nation perspective versus a state perspective. That was the big win there, and I didn't think of that. But what are your thoughts on Tesla and how potentially Tesla will benefit from this election?
Yeah, again, like just cutting away red tape. I think, you know, moving into these new technologies of autonomous vehicles, and to, you know, just kind of cut through a lot of the fog and a lot of the nonsense. I think streamlining government, you know, with this implementation of DOGE, right, the Department of Government Efficiency, is going to help huge. And yeah, just speeding things up with him. Everything is speed. You know, look how fast they built this factory. That's got to be the biggest, fastest build ever in American history, of that size of a building to go up that quickly. And that was despite all the roadblocks. So like you're saying, now that he's got all of this stuff, kind of this weight cast off his shoulders, look how fast they're going to be able to move. And if they can accelerate the time frame for implementing FSD, again, you're helping America become, you know, get back to that superpower world-class status with these emerging technologies. As far as manufacturing, again, you're streamlining and fast-tracking everything to get, you know, more factories built, to, you know, this nonsense of the water, you know, just thinking of that as well, like basically drinking water coming out of the facility down in South Texas, that sort of thing. All of this stuff is just going to be just wrapped up so much quicker. You know, we're going to see the results much earlier in our lifetime.
Yeah, and also too, with all of the chess moves that Elon's done in becoming a world leader over the past couple of years, and even longer than that, you're just going to see a lot happening. It's going to be an incredible 4 years, and we're primed, ready to see what happens. So make sure you follow Josh West 24/7 on all of the platforms. He's got an amazing YouTube channel, and he's doing a lot of great content on X. So give him a follow, and thanks for your perspective today.
Yeah, appreciate it. Anytime, guys.
So this is the Starlink factory right here. Wow, that's crazy. Starlink manufacturing global headquarters. This is crazy. Starlink's going to become the standard for internet. I mean, this is just crazy. Oh yeah, look at those tunnels right here. You can literally get from Starlink into the Boring Company over there. So that's just crazy. All right, so this is the Boring Company right here. Check this out. This is crazy. And mind you, they're building these tunnels. Yeah, so they have all of these tunnels that are being built from the Starlink factory over to the Boring Company. I mean, this is just, you know, it's crazy what this company, what Elon and stuff is doing. I mean, this just makes it all real. I mean, you can see. Okay, and then this is supposed to be the new X building right here.
All right, so I have right behind me the Starlink factory. being built, and this whole place is just like a village. I'm gonna have Josh West 24/7 give us a quick walkthrough of what's here, but you can literally see the Boring Company, potentially the Future X headquarters. There's a Hyperloop Plaza. This place is just being built at an incredible clip. I mean, it really feels like Starbase all over again. Again, I remember, what was it? 4/20/2023, that place was just like a beach, and then next thing you know, it literally looks like Star Wars. But Josh, can you tell us a little bit about what's behind us, and maybe even just a quick walkthrough of what we have in this area right behind us?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so this is Bastrop, Texas. We just drove right from the Gigafactory, and it was about 20-25 minutes, depending on whether or not you have traffic, so fairly quick. There's no major like highway and that sort of thing. It's kind of country roads to get back here, so it makes it pretty smooth, especially for Elon kind of going back and forth. Of course, security is paramount, so if he's going to drive, you definitely, he's going to want to be able to go incognito, and that way he can kind of do it. Speaking of security, one of the things that Boring Company has done, behind me here is the SpaceX facility. Now, this is mainly focused on Starlink, of course, Starlink manufacturing, development, the hardware itself, all the different technologies involved. But speaking of security, Boring Company is actually tunneled under this road. There are 2 tunnels, I'm guessing one in, one out, to go across the street to the Boring Company headquarters. And over there we can see some of the cutting heads. They've got cranes, they've got aggregate materials, they've got stuff over there, chemicals for mixing high tensile, I guess you call it, concrete and cements and that sort of thing, for lining the interiors of the tunnels. So lots of really cool stuff to see. There's just so much. It's like a beehive. There's just energy and activity absolutely everywhere. You can see on the Starlink building behind me here, they've got it partially enclosed. This is kind of the second half behind us here, and it extends straight out. That is the other portion of the building that's finished. Obviously, that's been done for a little while and fully operational. They've just basically doubled the size of the building, and they've got it about halfway enclosed, and you can see the iron going out this side here. This place is going to be massive, and of course, they still have more room to expand years ahead down the road. And then across the street, like I mentioned, you've got that Boring Company headquarters there, but beside it, Elon's really cool. He really thinks of his employees, and what they built there is a facility called the Boring Bodega, which is a really cool kind of hybrid location where you've got everything from a bar, you've got hairdresser, barbershop, you've got activities for the kids, mini golf, and you've got pickleball courts and play spots there, as well as a restaurant in there and kind of a gourmet grocery store, almost like a mini Whole Foods type of thing. There's even a pottery studio, a merch shop, all kinds of cool stuff. So a great spot for the employees to hang out, but it's open to the public. And I come here kind of all the time. It's a lot of fun, actually. You get to talk to SpaceX employees, Boring Company employees, and of course Tesla employees as well. So really, really cool. And like John said, we've got potentially the new X headquarters coming in as well.
How long? So the question is, first off, how long have you been in Austin, and more importantly, like how soon have they been or how long have they been building all this stuff out?
So I first came down here in 2022 for the Gigafactory launch there, the Cyber Rodeo, and that's kind of when I fell in love with Austin and a bunch of the people. And then we moved down here. Well, my wife and kids moved down here in 2023, a year ago, and I just got here in May of 2024. And even since I've moved here, there's so much that, I mean, this potential X building, that was nothing. That was a farmer's field, and so that's popped up with its driveways and all the. Even this expansion here, kind of like stumbling over the words because there's just so much going on. It's like, where do you start? The tunneling, it's just endless, the activity here. It's really something.
Yeah, and I grew up coming out to visit my grandma in East Texas. So this is just literally like the same type of vibe of just like, you're kind of remote, but they're building this massive city. So it's crazy to see kind of like the mecca of, SpaceX, Boring Company. I mean, they're literally, as you said, they're building tunnels underneath, and you can see, the two different ends, which is crazy.
Well, one other thing that I'll mention is some of the employees that I've spoken to, there's actually a guy that I was speaking to a couple weeks ago, and he actually moved here from California. He worked for SpaceX in Hawthorne, and he was asking, so what he worked on were he worked on constructing of what steers the Starship rocket. He asked to move out here. He's now working on Starlink developing and building new types of dishes and that sort of thing. And what's wild is that he wanted to come out here because of Texas lower cost of living. So he said that his situation there was he was going to have to partner with another family, get his parents involved just to buy a house for him and his wife and his young family. And here they were able just to come out and just buy a house on their own. And they live, about 20 minutes away. He's like, it's a short commute, country roads, no traffic. It's great. And he just said he's, really enjoying the quality of life, close to the airport as well. So, and really thinks about his employees, and that's kind of the side that you don't always see when you see this gargantuan expansion of his companies, but he's really thinking about everybody that's part of it.
I think the thing about Elon too and his companies is people just think it's one person. Like he's like the one literally in the back, building this factory, but they forget about the hundreds of thousands at this point of people that are working for his companies, and then the multiplier that happens by just the association. So for every one Tesla employee, you get an extra 10 people that are getting jobs because of the things that they're doing, all the spin-off, the construction, everything else, the people that benefit. And Elon, again, Austin, as we've known, because I'm good friends with Anwar and Matt, this area is changing. It's going to even change even further in the next 5 years. This is going to be especially again Josh and I were just talking, the pent-up demand that is just gonna, the energy that has been flowing is just gonna completely change. All right, so this is the Hyperloop Plaza. We are across the street from the Starlink factory, and you have the Boring Company over here. But here it looks like they have some miniature golf, a bunch of areas for the kids to play, a grocery store, and a place for you to eat. And here they also have beer here. The headquarters is supposed to be over here. But this is all Musk Industries, and it's crazy to see this expansion of what's happening, but super cool at the same time. So we're gonna go take a look in, and yeah, we'll see. All right, so this is actually the tunnel outliner here, and you can just see this thing is actually made of a special concrete that they made, but you can see the threads here for where the bolts ultimately will come in and out, so that you can literally make a fat circle for the tunnel itself. But yeah, just super cool to see. This thing is obviously what they've used in Las Vegas, and they're building this right now on the SpaceX and Starlink factory. The Boring Bodega. Look, they got burnt hair and then the Boring Company bricks. Check out the Not a Flamethrower, the Las Vegas Hyperloop. Look at it looks like that's the Starbase Brewing, and it looks like it has Occupy Mars and a couple other options. It looks like, of course I Love You is one of the other options, but this is the only place here, and maybe Starbase is the only places you can get those. Pruff Rock Pub. Looks like they have a Nintendo set up here, a bunch of candy over there. You can get, looks like all the merch. I wonder if Elon's gonna make candy at some point, or more importantly, chocolate. So we'll see. I mean, it's gonna happen.
All of these refrigerators here, kind of a fun fact, and the espresso machine, you gotta check that thing out. It's like $30,000. It all came from the old headquarters. Oh. Yeah, before they cleaned it out.
Looks like a pottery spot here. You can even get a barber shop over here, pretty cool. You're really boring. Check out all of this. Looks like obviously a lot of alcohol here. It literally feels like a little mini town. All right, so I'm in the Boring Bodega, and they have a lot here. They have a pub, they have a barbershop, a pottery spot, and they also have obviously a place where you can order some food and potentially even espressos. So just super cool to be here. It's like a little city here. So this is actually what you can get to eat over at the Boring Bodega, and actually some really cool history. This is the old Twitter headquarters espresso machine right here. This is a Boring Company brand. It's called Cutterhead Candy Co. So they've made a ton of candy, as you can see here. But also too, you can see how the actual peppermint here, that is actually from the Boring Company's liner, and it's the threads that you can see up there. So it's just, there's always something behind all of these companies. Check out this, the Star Hopped, Of Course I Still Love You, Lucky Launch Day Lager, Occupy Mars. So amazing.
So check out this nacho platter from Boring Bodega. This is crazy. This thing is the size of Texas right here.
Oh yeah.
Crazy. So looks like we just got our beer. This is the Kolsch, I Love You, Occupy Mars, and the Star Hopped. Crazy.
2, 3, there we go. Beautiful.
All right, so this is the Neuralink headquarters. Looks like they got an orchard over here, but they're building out a lot. So this is my first time here. Super, super exciting. And you know, the future is going to be exciting, especially for those with that need the biggest help, especially people like Nolan, who was the first Neuralink patient. So many people with disabilities, their lives are going to be changed because of Neuralink. All right, so what's up? So we are at the Neuralink headquarters. You can see here, this place is being built. It's really just fresh. You can see a whole orchard out here, you know, where they're going to be feeding all of even the animals and stuff. But there's a lot here, just really, really exciting to see. And super, super cool to see this being built out. And again, this is all on the way about 20 minutes away from the factory. We just came back from the Starlink factory, Boring Company, and the Hyperloop Plaza, and the X headquarters. So, you know, there's just a lot happening in Texas, especially in the Austin area and the outskirts. So, you know, we all know that Neuralink helped Nolan. He was the first patient of Neuralink, and it really has changed his life. We had a conversation with him a couple weeks ago. And so there's so many people with disabilities where it's going to change their lives. So all of the testing and other things that will be happening here, and just a ton of land. I mean, this place is just insane.
All right, we're here at the Giga Austin Supercharger off-site location. That's the official name over it. John over there, president. He's talking with Josh West, doing a little interview over here. Me? Oh, you got to see what I'm doing. Come on, that was pretty good.